There's an artwork at the Peter Street Basin by Bernie Miller. It's gone into disrepair. The city has the obligation and the moral obligation to refurbish this beautiful artwork. The point of his artwork is a reference point for the history of Toronto, the history of the harbor front in its many manufacturing and navigational life. And if you don't have artworks that represent history and give you something to remember about where you came from and where you're going, frankly, your city will die.
Very good. Perfect. That was perfect.
Very well said, Jeanne Randolph.
Just for
wonderful.
reference, that was the time, just so that.
Cool. Water gets dirty, but the city of Toronto does not seem to care. So what have we done in order to tackle this? Submersivity, which combines XR goggles and RC submarines for Peter Street Basin cleanup.
Yeah, so we've got 5 parts of our project. The first one was designing and building this RC submarine, as well as a few other image capturing systems, like 3 GoPros on a stick.
Yeah, and we fine-tuned the YOLO model, which is the object detection for garbage data set for robust object detections.
Using those images and the detections, we're able to use photogrammetry to localize the detections within a known coordinate system of the basin.
And then we transmit the odometry to our XR glasses.
There you go. Thank you guys.
Very good.
So our study was inspired by Steve Mann's cold exposure therapy. We wanted to test how cold exposure can affect your motor and cognitive performance. For motor performance, we tested with mini golf putting, and then for cognitive performance, we used some math tests and memory games. And for each, we found an improvement. So we found an 18% improvement in mini golf putting performance and a decreased theta beta ratio by 12%, meaning more alertness. And also we found increased engagement and motivation. So if you want to get better at mini golf, try cold exposure therapy.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
I'm Camilla. I'm Isabel. I'm Bethel. And coffee is a pretty popular study tool. However, it has a lot of negative effects on an individual. So we were interested in finding an alternative to coffee. To do this, we had to first consider what is coffee doing to the human brain. And we used the EEG Muse headband in order to track the different signals that the coffee is affecting, concluding that it decreases something called the TBR ratio, which the lower it is, the more increased your focus is. So from there, we were considering different alternatives, and since this whole course is about like wearable devices, we considered implementing VR, which while it doesn't help you react to an environment better, it helps to reduce how much you're reacting to. So we ran some experiments in comparison to coffee, concluding that it actually decreases the TBR ratio more than coffee does. So if you're interested in an alternative to coffee, if you're very addictive, maybe try VR since it seems to be pretty good at it.
Perfect. Very good. Very good. That was very good. Okay.
And then
So say you're in a war zone, you're a medical worker, and you want to deliver medical support to people who are vulnerable, right? And say you are tracked down by sonar. So someone's tracking you down with sonar, and you want to have personal way to surveil the surveillors, to surveil the surveillance. So this is our meta surveillance rover, inspired by Professor Mann's lifelong concept and work of meta surveillance. And you can see, I'm the surveiller, and this is surveilling me, right? You can see it getting detected. We did something really simple. It's the exact same sensor. We removed the digital abstraction that's behind it and tapped directly into the analog control of it. Did some signal processing to pick up the chirps, and we were able to detect it. So it's one sensor that's more sensitive than the other. So we're sensing a sensor by making it more sensitive than the sensor that's sensing it. And that's our rover to make it move around. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so our project is essentially taking brain waves and converting that to something that's easier for people to understand, because brain waves are very difficult for an average consumer to understand. It's just like squiggly lines. So we convert that to like audio and visual feedback. And essentially what it does is it takes the signal from the Muse headset. It gets 3 signals: the alpha wave, the beta wave, and the theta wave. And it basically creates like a visualizer, and it looks like something like this with audio feedback. So when you play it, if you're someone who's stressed out, it basically turns the bulb to red, and that means you're stressed, and it also has like a high pitched sound. But when you like calm down over time, it turns smaller in size, and it's like plays like a calmer sound. So that means you're someone who's calmed down. That's essentially the project.
Very good. Very good. Good time. Good time. Yeah.
We live in a very loud and hectic world, and as it turns out, sometimes you just want to be able to read the things that people are saying off the top of their heads. Well, what we have here is spatial captioning. We have a microphone array that takes sound, finds the place where it's coming from, and finds a transcription of it, and then it gets piped into a VR headset so that it displays the thing that I'm saying as I'm saying it. So you would be able to use this as an accessibility tool, but also just to augment your sense of hearing in your everyday life. And there's a lot of potential ways that this could be used as a wearable, as a meeting aid. The possibilities are endless. But as of right now, it serves as a proof of concept. So, you know, good stuff so far. Thank you very much.
Very good.
All right, so the XR Seeing Aid is a device that leverages developments in extended reality to help visually impaired users with navigation. So we implement obstacle detection, safe service segmentation, as well as navigation guidance through voice commands to ensure that visually impaired users have a safe and seamless navigation experience.
Very nice. Thank you.
Perfect.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm here to present a project called D-Issue by Xiaoming Chen. I'm a good buddy of his. So basically, those who have diabetes, a lot of the time they suffer from a symptom, which is they can't actually feel their extremities. So this is a shoe which looks at pressure, temperature, humidity, and force on your shoes, and also we'll have gloves as well. So we presented this in Dubai, and they loved it in Dubai. Thank you very much.
So this project sees how EEG brain activity changes during sleep, and it was measured using the data from hyperbaric oxygen therapy for about 60 to 90 minutes. We tried to do two things, a spectral analysis and a chiplet-based time frequency analysis. So using the spectral analysis, you see the expected results like lower theta-beta ratio during sleep and increased delta activity. And chiplet analysis, even though it's a work in progress, but they support the similar claim as the spectral analysis, but it also captures more spikes than the normal spectral analysis because it's a more better approach. And then, but one thing to note for this is it is based on a single participant data, so it's not generic at the moment, so it's a single participant study.
Perfect. Very good.
If you want to know if your swimming water is of good quality for swimming, you need to actually test for E. coli, in addition to cleaning it up and making sure it's clean and it smells nice. And here we have an automated detector that can tell you how much E. coli you have in your water. You simply need to collect a sample, put it in the cartridge, drop it into the instrument, press go, and it will tell you the result, and you can be sure that your water is safe to swim in.
It works when you push the water and it blows through a whistle and it makes noise. So I'll play you a piece.
Okay, so our game is called Cocaine Buzzkill, and it's an XR game that takes aim against a flame, or the drug epidemic. Now, the data is clear. The high you get from cold exposure is actually the same high you get as cocaine. However, the one drawback of cold exposure is that it suppresses your alpha levels, which decreases your focus.
But we've solved that by making a game. The game actually increases your alpha levels, which is associated with focus. And the way we measured it was with the Muse EEG headband. And in doing this, we have a viable way for people to get off of cocaine, for people who struggle with cocaine abuse to recover from usage. Thank you.
Very good.
Beautiful. Go.
So who here likes skiing or snowboarding? So what we have developed here is a pair of smart snow goggles for this type of winter sports. It has a head-up display that shows you the speed, the altitude, as well as the surrounding temperature when you're going down the hill. And it also pairs up with a little button here that connects to the camera. You can shoot photos or high-quality videos with it. So this will greatly enhance your snowboarding or skiing experience.
Perfect. Very good.
As Professor Mann has undertaken the cleaning of Peter Street Basin in the name of accessibility, we wanted to come up with a system that gives people who cannot or just don't want to get into the basin the opportunity to feel like they're still in the water. And we do this using our gesture-controlled boating system.
So we built a game by using the Unity, and then the camera is capturing the arm movement and send packets of data to the computer. So when I swim, the boat moves.
We also modified a physical boat to do the same thing. It will be controlled by the Raspberry Pi as well, and will move with the same gestures.
Okay, very good.
Okay, we've all seen the movie Ratatouille, right? What if you had Ratatouille on your head help you cook the perfect pancake? Well, with XR cooking, that can be a reality, an extended reality. So Jonas, how does it work?
Yeah, so we used the ESP32 with the thermal camera. We overlaid those two images, and what we get is a perfect tracker of the pancake's cooking point.
So this system not only lets you know when the pan is ready to cook, it also lets you know when the pancake is ready to be flipped and when it's done, giving you the perfect pancake every single time.
Perfect.
All right, listening, guys. We're just listening.
Okay, so quickly, our background and motivation for this was kind of to, if you've looked at a fan, for example, there's an after image that's left, and we really wanted to see if we could do that with an LED, and I guess you can show how we can do that.
So we start with 1 pixel, and then it's a hand-holding rotational swing, and this is our prototype. Connect with ESP camera and LED with a drill, and we have the sensor.
We have the motion sensor here, and this can connect the ESP camera with the Bluetooth. And you can see when it is stable, there's no light, and when it moves slowly, it will reveal the red light, and if it moves fast, it will reveal the red and green light. You can tie it on this too, and when it rotates, it will have different color with different angular velocity. And you can see this is our final and ideal design. This one here, you can see a good pattern here. Yeah, this pattern is our design and code to the chip here. You can see about this setup. This one is the LED and this one is the motor. We have the chip here. The chip here is the same as that one in the ESP camera, but it does not contain the camera now. And we code it into the chip.
Good stuff, guys. Very good.
Thank you.
The next one? Yeah, we'll go this.
Go.